This is On Imagination with the Healing Garden. Welcome to Shifting Perspectives. This is absolutely lab work. U of I, second perspective. Second perspective is receiving. But in order to pull this comprehension off, you have to understand the emotional transactions of human connection. There are two elements, two positions you can look at. You either open or closed. Closed position is trauma, comfort zone. Fear. These are closed positions. You will not receive in these positions. Trauma zone, comfort zone, fear. If you are in any one of these three places, you will not receive. That does not mean you don't want. It means that you cannot connect. Human connection is not possible when you are closed. The only way to make yourself open is through the second perspective. There is no exception to this rule. And there is only one way to get here. You must first pass through. In the case of wisdom love, the first perspective. But that's not where most of us are. Most of us lack wisdom love, which means we're going to have to take the long way around. The other pathway is through wisdom love, the 12 ethical stages of the I of I, and then the first perspective of the U of I, and then to the second perspective of the U of I. Now you have two options. If you are lucky enough to be born into wisdom love, then you're there. You just need to get from the first perspective into the second perspective. And if you are watching this, well, you'd be less than 1 year old and you can't yet speak English. So I know you're not there, which means you are either in the trauma zone, comfort zone, or fear zone, which means you are closed. In order to receive, you have to now go the long way around, which is wisdom love, all through the I of I, through the first perspective of the U of I, and then to the second perspective of the U of I. Wow. The emotional transaction of human connection can open anytime during the second perspective, but without the ninth perspective, empathy, you're going to hurt the people who you love. That's what empathy is for. Without the first three perspectives, you don't know trust. You cannot know trust. So you're going to hurt the people you love. Without 7, 8, and 9th perspective, which gives you empathy, you're not going to be able to communicate clearly. And without the 4th, 5th, and 6th perspective, you are not going to be accountable, fair, or just. You're going to hurt the people you love. And without the 11th, the 10th, the 11th, and the 12th perspective, you're not going to be able to regulate yourself properly enough. You're going to hurt the people you love. Once you've internalized all 12 of these ethics, you will land yourself into love, forgiveness, understanding, trust, justice, fairness, joy, and then you will solidify yourself in the first perspective, which is the comfort zone of the you of I. Now, once you receive enough comfort that you finally get bored enough to seek out adventure, that is when you open up and enter into the second perspective, which is the learning perspective and also the vulnerability perspective. Within that perspective, you then have the ability to receive education, learning, kindness, love. Only then do you have the ability to receive those things and guarantee the safety of the ones you love. This is wisdom love. There is no other way. Those of us who are born into wisdom love have this naturally by entering into the first perspective with proper, healthy, strong, solid, knowledgeable parents who did not have trauma that they projected onto us. Likewise, if you are in the trauma zone, the comfort zone, or the fear zone, you are not open. The comfort zone is not a state of openness, quite the opposite. It's actually a state of being withdrawn and closed up to keep yourself safe. It is you in a genie bottle, so to speak. No one can get to you, which is actually what most of us do need. Once you hit that surplus of the comfort zone, that's when you finally get bored with comfort and you seek out adventure. And when you seek out adventure, the second perspective kicks on, and now you can go seek it out. That's when you can receive. But it has to be consensual. This is where the emotional transaction of human connection begins, and it begins safely. The problem is a lot of us are attempting to make connection when we are closed, or we are trying to make connection before we are ready. When you try and make connection before you are ready, you hurt the ones you love very, very deeply, and many times beyond repair. When you try to connect with somebody while you are within the trauma zone, comfort zone, or fear zone, you cannot receive the emotions. Now, here's the problem with that. If you are not open to receive, if you are not vulnerable, then you are not going to be able to actually feel kindness, which transfers over to love. What this means is you have absolutely no way of healing your bitterness, your resentfulness, your hate, your anger. All of these things get soothed with kindness and love, but only if you are vulnerable and open to receive them, which you cannot get to until and unless you have a surplus of your comfort zone. Now, you can get there through your comfort zone, but you're not going to be safe enough for those you love until you solidify the 12 ethics. There is a big difference between learning these things when you are ready and learning these things when you are not ready. You can get closed. You can get open. To get open, you just need the first perspective until you get to the point of boredom, and then you switch over to the second perspective, and then you can receive. But if you are not ready, you greatly risk hurting those you love. If you are ready, then you're fine. But to get ready, you're going to have to internalize all 12 ethics, and you're going to have to go all the way back through to the you of I, to that first perspective to repeat again. So there's two agendas here. The first one is you want to feel love. But the second agenda is doing so that you do not hurt your loved ones. Now, we don't start thinking about hurting others until the sixth perspective, when we realize that we are accountable for our actions and that our actions have a direct effect on other people. Furthermore, we don't learn empathy until the 9th perspective. So to not be ready and to engage with a romantic partner, with anybody, puts you in a position where you lack accountability and empathy in order to proceed forward. Now, being in the closed state puts you in a position where you are not going to be able to absorb the other emotions, the love, the kindness, in order to soothe the bitterness and the resentment. Today, January 9th, 2024, was the first time I felt and received kindness and love. It is the first time I have felt it in my life. And there is nothing like this. That man loved me for 2.5 years. And it paled in comparison to what I am feeling now. It was a fraction of the feeling. I was literally incapable of receiving it to even absorb it into me. And just by 2 very simple, kind acts, I have this wealth of this feeling that I have never felt before. It is a fraction of the emotion. Within the closed state, you receive a ghosted glimpse of a sample. Not even. You can't fathom it. It's like they say, okay, let me try this with you. When I first ate lemons, I would say they're sour. I grew a lemon tree. And I pulled one of my lemons fresh off the tree and I cut it into half and I ate it. Lemons are sweet. Yeah. Lemons are sweet. But we don't know that because they are plucked too early and then transported across the country or the sea to get to you. Lemons are sweet. That is exactly what this is. It's a lot of people craving what they instinctively want and need, but they're not willing to be vulnerable or do the work to get it. So they're all hoarding and stealing the lemons, non-consensually forcing all of these lemons. And then when you ask them, what does it feel like? And they're all going, oh, it's sour. Yeah, lemons are sour. And then they go through the process. And afterward, I hand them a lemon right off of my tree and I cut it in half for them and they sink their teeth into it and go, it's sweet. Yeah. And then when you go back to trying lemons, it is not the same thing. Strawberries, same thing. I heard bananas are this way too, but I've never had bananas. I've had bananas in the store, but I heard that you have to actually go to Hawaii and actually have a banana to try a banana. So it is actually my lifelong dream to have a real banana because I have no idea. No idea. Strawberries, the ones in the stores taste like water. I grew them fresh in my garden in the sunlight. Pales in comparison. When you cheat to get psychological fruit, you are not getting quality at all. It's the same thing. So there's a lot of people who are desperately trying to obtain the lemons, and they're all hoarding and they're all feasting on sour lemons, and it's not sating them. And they don't understand that that's not even a lemon. It doesn't even come close. Vulnerability is the price, and it's the reward. But by God, is it going to cost you? The journey that you have ahead of you is going to cost you all of your lies. It's going to cost you all of your delusions. It's going to cost you all of your masks. It's going to cost you all of your shame. And it's going to cost you all of your excuses. And when it's all done and said, it's just you, naked, in a room with the worst judge of all, yourself. And there is no bullshit you can tell yourself when you are that honest that you will believe, because you know you're fucking full of shit. But the reward is vulnerability and authenticity and the ability to sink your teeth into an actual lemon and go, wow, these things are not what I've been given. I had a moment where I finally was able to assess the situation correctly and see it for what it really is finally. And I was able to sit here at the bottom and go, okay, I've got a long road ahead of me, and that's okay. But I was able to receive this thing and go, oh, hell yes, it's worth it. And oh, hell yes, I want more of that. Patience is an understatement. Patience is changing. Patience means something else now. Patience means savoring. Oh. Patience means savoring and appreciating. Oh, we had the word wrong. Patience means to savor and to appreciate. Oh, it says the capacity to accept or tolerate delayed trouble or suffering without getting angry or upset, but it doesn't say how to do it. You see how that works? It doesn't say how to do it. You need to savor and appreciate. That is the emotional cocktail that gives you patience. Patience is made up of savory and appreciation. That's how you do it. It is the combination of savoring and appreciation. And then it's anticipation of the next helping. It's looking forward to the next serving. Oh, patience is a process. I see that now. I see. I understand. Oh, do I understand very, very deeply now. Savor, appreciate, anticipate, looking forward to the next serving. I see. You see, you're so starved in scarcity that it's urgent. That's what narcissism and being closed off does to you. It is 100% economics. When you start putting economics into the psychology of what's really going on, it's absolutely that scarcity mindset because you're starved. It's equivalent to what a diabetic goes through, where they consume, but they're not properly digesting the energy from the source. And as a result, they're starving, even though they're gorging. And it's because of the quality is not getting through, because there's something wrong with processing. Wow, this is exactly like economics. This is medical and economics meets psychology all in one. Like I said, interdisciplinary studies is really cool. So, wow, patience, savory, appreciation, anticipation. That is patience. Because suddenly it's not I just want to get to the end. No, I don't want to get to the end. Oh, now it's all about the journey. No, I don't want to get to the end. I just want to get to the next stepping stone because now I'm really eager to see what's next. This is the difference. This is patience, savory, appreciation, and just anticipation. This is something different. Welcome to wisdom, love. It is really a different creature. Okay. Thank you so much for being my audience, and may the kindest of words always find you.